Sometimes someone new to Zen asks the question, is Zen part of Buddhism? Well, yes, it is. In fact, it's at the heart of the Buddha way. Inquiry, crisis, realization, and clarification. This is what Zen is about. And that's what Buddhism is about. Let's look at Shakyamuni's own story. I won't go too much into detail. This is not the time and place for that. I don't want to make a study here of some sort of biographical study and get too far off the point. But we can break his biography into two parts. First is his own journey to realization. The second is his teaching life. Now, today I'll just talk about his own journey to realization, the first part. As I said, I won't go too far into detail. But he was born near the Nepalese border, and at that time a soothsayer came to the court of his father, who was a local chieftain, and the soothsayer gave a prediction that in the future Siddhartha would grow up to be either a holy saviour of the world or a powerful king and destroyer. You know, we have this title for him, World Honoured One. Anyway, to cut to the point, Siddhartha grows up confined to his father's palace. See, his father had a plan that he would kind of taint, or he would kind of drive the future for this boy, as many parents do. But he goes to extraordinary lengths, and he keeps Siddhartha pretty much a prisoner in his palaces. So he's trying to load the outcome towards what he wants, Siddhartha's life to be. So Siddhartha is sheltered in every way. His father makes sure that Siddhartha cannot meet reality. However, turning 29, Siddhartha decides he wants to see the world, at least outside the palace. His father reluctantly agrees. But even this he tries to control. You see, we have one psychology playing against another psychology already here. You can see, the struggle between, the psychology of control, serious control for reality, and, the serious, push against that. We all know this in our lives, yeah? Control versus freedom. Absolute versus the unknowable possibilities of the relative. So Sakyamuni goes out. But his father has arranged that no one, sick, infirm, or dying, is visible during his route. But somewhere along the way, an old man wanders accidentally into the procession, and Sakyamuni sees aging for the first time. Up until that point, once again, I don't want to get into detail about this story, but you wonder how that could be. But apparently, the story goes that his father would remove anyone after a certain age, so that Sakyamuni, Siddhartha, would never see anyone getting old. Everybody's young and beautiful around him. So he's never seen an old person, an old decrepit person. A little later, he encounters someone sick, and still later someone dead. What a realization, you know, is mortality, entropy. Chana, his driver and friend, explains that all people, even he, will grow old, encounter illness and die, suffering and entropy. You know, Siddhartha is unable to reconcile this truth, you know. He's in shock. And it was apparently when he goes back to the palace, you know, he's deeply affected by this, you know, which is his father's worst nightmare, really. It's come true. So you see, this is his first enlightenment. It's not the enlightenment of bliss. It's the enlightenment of the exclusion from paradise, in a sense, you know. The palace represents paradise. And, you know, he's a man up a tree in a desperate situation. Illusion is lifted from his eyes. So Sakyamuni leaves the palace and his father, goes out, determined to find the answer to this. So he joins a commune of ascetics practicing various yogic disciplines. So where in the palace he had a life of sport, food, sex, fine clothes, everything was free to him. In the forest where they dwelled, they fasted, went naked, devoted themselves to disciplines and tortures. And finally, in a state of near death, Siddhartha staggers out of the forest and falls into a river and drifts until he's found by a village girl. She nurses him, and while he's recovering, he hears a lute teacher explaining to his student, if the string is too loose, it won't play. If the string is too tight, it will break. Hearing this, the mind-turning word, Sakyamuni realizes the middle way. This is his second awakening, yeah? A new, you know, after the, you know, so he's gone from one crisis to awakening. This is the experience of all of us, leaving paradise, escaping hell. Crisis of doubt and crisis of faith. The three pillars of training: doubt, faith, and awakening. Awakening is only achieved, only validated, when you can let go of heaven and hell. Surrender, then doubt and faith become your friends, and ultimate possibilities arise in your free mind. In your life, you encounter many situations, experiences that do the same. The koan is not a vehicle for your enlightenment. It is an expression of realization. So the process of koan training is to open your mind to the possibilities of this life. They're not a problem A problem implies answers to be solved and overcome. Rather, the correct view is to expand your life. The story of Sakyamuni is not a person trapped. It's a person becoming free. In your own life, there are such possibilities. We are not here to delve into the psychology of thoughts and feelings. That kind of analysis is useful in clinical settings, but don't confuse that with Zen and your training. As I said, the story of Sakyamuni is not a person trapped. It is a person becoming free. That is also the practice of koan, inquiry in Zen. So this is the relationship that Zen has with Buddhism, or Buddhism and Zen in the tradition. It goes right back. Yeah? This is the living tradition. Yeah? So you are seeing, you are traveling the same road as Siddhartha. Yeah? The same opportunities.